Were 7 tribes slack in taking their inheritance? Are we slack in taking our land for Christ? How much territory has our church taken from the devil? Let's review Joshua 18. Was an assembly convened to discuss a survey of the land? Were 7 tribes slack in taking their inheritance? The whole assembly of the Israelites gathered at Shiloh and set up the tent of meeting there. The country was brought under their control, but there were still 7 Israelite tribes who had not yet received their inheritance. So Joshua said to the Israelites, "How long will you wait?" The Hebrew says, "Be slack, or be weak, or be idle, before you begin to take possession of the land that the Lord, the God of your ancestors, has given you. Appoint 3 men from each tribe. I'll send them out to make a survey of the land and to write a description of it, according to the inheritance of each. Then they'll return to me. You're to divide the land into 7 parts. Judah is to remain in its territory on the south, and the tribes of Joseph in their territory on the north. After you have written descriptions of the 7 parts of the land, bring them here to me, and I'll cast lots for you in the presence of the Lord our God. The Levites, however, do not get a portion among you, because the priestly service of the Lord is their inheritance. And Gad, Reuben, and the half-tribe of Manasseh have already received their inheritance on the east side of the Jordan. Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave it to them." Did they divide the land in a fair and equitable manner? Then the men arose to go away, and Joshua charged those who were to survey the land, saying, "Go walk through the land, survey it, and come back to me, that I may cast lots for you here before the Lord in Shiloh." So the men went, passed through the land, and wrote the survey in a book in 7 parts by cities. And they came to Joshua at the camp in Shiloh. Then Joshua cast lots for them in Shiloh before the Lord. And there Joshua divided the land to the children of Israel according to their divisions. What were the boundaries of the tribe of Benjamin's inheritance? The first allotment of land went to the clans of the tribe of Benjamin. It lay between the territory assigned to the tribes of Judah and Joseph. The northern boundary of Benjamin's land began at the Jordan River, went north of the slope of Jericho, then west through the hill country and the wilderness of Beth-aven. From there the boundary went south to Luz, that is Bethel, and proceeded down to Ataroth-adah on the hill that lies south of lower Beth-horon. The boundary then made a turn and swung south along the western edge of the hill facing Beth-horon, ending at the village of Kiriath-baal, that is Kiriath-jearim, a town belonging to the tribe of Judah. This was the western boundary. The southern boundary began at the outskirts of Kiriath-jearim. From that western point it ran to the spring at the waters of Nephtoah, and down to the base of the mountain beside the valley of Ben Hinnom, at the northern end of the valley of Rephaim. From there it went down the valley of Hinnom, crossing south of the slope where the Jebusites lived, and continued down to En-rogel. From En-rogel, the boundary proceeded in a northerly direction and came to En-shemesh, and on to Geliloth, which is across from the slopes of Adumim. Then it went down to the stone of Bohan. Bohan was Reuben's son. From there it passed along the north side of the slope, overlooking the Jordan Valley. The border then went down into the valley, ran past the north slope of Beth-hoglah, and ended at the north bay of the Dead Sea, which is the southern end of the Jordan River. This was the southern boundary. The eastern boundary was the Jordan River. These were the boundaries of the homeland, allocated to the clans of the tribe of Benjamin. What were the cities in the tribe of Benjamin's inheritance? Now the cities of the tribe of the children of Benjamin, according to their families, were Jericho, Beth-hoglah, Emek-keziz, Beth-arabah, Zemaraim, Bethel, Avim, Parah, Ophrah, Kephar Ammoni, Ophni, and Geba, 12 cities with their villages, Gibeon, Ramah, Beeroth, Mizpeh, Kephirah, Moza, Rechem, Erpeel, Taralah, Zelah, Eleph, the Jebusite, also called Jerusalem, Gibeath, and Kiriath, 14 cities and their villages. This is the inheritance of the children of Benjamin, according to their families. Was the Apostle Paul a descendant of the tribe of Benjamin? I'm an Israelite, a descendant of Abraham, from the tribe of Benjamin. Is Benjamin marked for inclusion in God's eternal plans? Is Dan not? Then I heard how many people had been marked on the forehead. There were 144,000, and they came from every tribe of Israel, 12,000 from Judah, 12,000 from Reuben, 12,000 from Gad, 12,000 from Asher, 12,000 from Naphtali, 12,000 from Manasseh, 12,000 from Simeon, 12,000 from Levi, 12,000 from Issachar, 12,000 from Zebulun, 12,000 from Joseph, and 12,000 from Benjamin. As they went, what were the disciples, and by extension us, to do? In whose names should churches baptize? What is the teaching curriculum of every church to be? Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you. And behold, I'm with you always, to the end of the age. Why should we be courageous? Who has already conquered the world? I've told you these things, so that in me you may have peace. You will have suffering in this world. Be courageous. I have conquered the world. Were 7 tribes slack in taking their inheritance? Are we slack in taking our land for Christ? How much territory has our church taken from the devil? You decide.